Welcome to Behind the Scenes. Tonight's guests, and I use the term plural, I have been looking forward to sitting down and sharing this moment with all of you so much. They are fresh into a new relationship, but they've been in the industry for a while, so it's going to be really great to get to know them individually and as a recently together couple. We're going to find out about how they are dealing with their relationship in the type of industry that they work in, how that they're melding their two lives together, and all just sorts of interesting things about them as a couple, as well as learning more about these two individually. This is going to be one of those conversations I've been really looking forward to and sharing with you. So please welcome to the show Nick Fitt and Clark Davis. Well, welcome, guys. Hey, good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Well, I'm very happy to have you guys on today. So, let's just jump right in and start this little fun fest of getting to know Clark and Nick.
Let's do it.
So, I normally hear Nick and Clark, but I thought I'd mix it up and say Clark and Nick. So, to see how that rolls off the tongue. It sounds kind of weird, actually. Nothing. It does. It's weird.
Correct to put the name with the C before the name with the N, so we'll just...
Well, on wedding invitations, do they put the wife or the husband first?
They put the husband first. Does it matter?
Which one goes first? You can be the husband.
Don't you guys take turns anyway? Maybe. Maybe actually is yes, unless the mother's saying it, that maybe's automatic no. So, now that we've got maybe diagnosed, let's go forward. So, anyway, everybody's been wanting me to sit down with you guys and talk about what's been going on with you two in life and everything. So, but we're going to start by just getting to know you guys individually and hear about each other, separately, and then we'll get to the United We Stand thing that's going on now. So let's go back, and we're going to start with Nick and move our way to Clark, and this time we'll go from there. So the first question out of the chute is, where did you grow up? What kind of child were you?
I was born in Rahway, New Jersey, and then I grew up between New Jersey and New York, then New York and Florida, and finally ended up in LA in 2005.
Okay.
Still pretty much a child then. And I was always like the happy-go-lucky, optimistic kid. Like, I always thought that, I had something special about me or something was going on, or that, life was just good, and that, something good would come from it. I was, very blessed to have loving family and parents and just a lot going on in my life that made me feel that way. Life's not all kisses and candy and kings and queens, but,
Okay.
here we are, and survived, made it through.
So how was school, growing up in school?
Well, middle school is awful for everyone, so we'll just talk about high school. Middle school is the worst.
Yeah.
And God bless middle school teachers watching. If anyone's a middle school teacher, God bless you, because that shit is just terrible for everyone. But high school, I really wanted to be popular. Like, freshman year, didn't happen. Sophomore year, didn't happen. Junior year, didn't happen. Senior year, was sitting at all the lunch tables. Everybody loved me. Was totally out and open at a Catholic school, mind you, North Florida, and everyone was just really accepting and nice. And I finally reached that I'm a cool kid status. And as quick as it came, it ended. And then there was college and
Start all over.
fuck my drag, right? Spent 3 years to have 9 months of fame, and now it is what it is. And I just remain friends with everybody on Facebook, and I haven't talked to anybody in 12 years, so what good does that do me?
Oh,
No issues, no problems. Before I came out, I used to think that I was paranoid that I would hear people talking about me, but they really weren't, so I had a little bit of paranoia as to what people would think, and then when I was fuck it, I'm gay, everyone was like, oh, good. So it was actually a really warm, welcoming response. So
I take it the coming out wasn't a big issue then.
nobody really, everyone that I thought would care didn't, and the people that I didn't think would care did. So again, you never know.
No, you never do. But I'm glad to hear that you had a good transition. So
My dad was so happy and proud of his kids to this day. My dad texts me every single day. I love you. Good night. Just gives me updates on what he's doing. I'm in a group text right now. Like there's all kinds of I have aunts and cousins on there, all kinds of stuff. But when I came out, my dad was so happy and proud of his gay son. He would introduce me. Hey, this is my gay son. Have you met my kid? It was like this, like just one of those over like bearing parents that like really was like too proud.
oh my God. So your dad was the male Debbie Novotny.
Right, he was. And I was like, the only thing he wasn't doing was holding up a sign. I was like, and I'm pretty gay, so it was obvious, but like, you know, he was never the overcompensating father, but he just ran with that one. Guess you gotta get it when you can when you're parents.
Well, of course.
We hope to be parents one day, so we hope that, you know, just promise me you won't chase our kid down if they're gay and hold up signs.
Well, if he does, take pictures. If he does, make sure you take plenty of pictures, because, you know, that comes back to haunt you later.
I would love to have our child just have a normal life, like not make it such a big circus. Just like if they come out or if they have a girlfriend or boyfriend.
But nothing's more embarrassing than a home video. Have you ever tried to sit down and watch? My mom every once in a while is like, "Oh, look at these videos I found," and I'm like, "You didn't find them, and yes, we'll watch them." She converted everything from VHS to DVD to Blu-ray, and now she can stream it, and it's just like,
Go mom. Go mom.
It brings such joy to her life to watch, but it just like, it's so embarrassing to watch yourself as a child and go back and look at that. Like some things are cute, but most of it you're just like, you can feel like your skin peeling off, and it gets really hot. Embarrassing.
Yeah, but those aren't your memories, those are for her. So you're just going to have to put up with it. You're just going to have to put up with it. Okay, Clark, the hot seat's your turn. Where did you grow up? What was your childhood like? And school and stuff like that.
I grew up in a town called, well, I kind of grew up moving around Suffolk County, which is on the eastern side of Long Island in New York. Like, think 2 hours east of New York City. And so I grew up moving around a lot, so I never really had a lot of friends in school, and just my home life with my family was very tumultuous and very sad and depressing. But I found a lot of solace in music, and I started on the clarinet in 4th grade. In 6th grade, I learned the saxophone, and then in 8th grade, I went to band camp for the first time, and I saw the bassoon, and I was like, I want to learn that. And so I ended up...
And nobody says that. Nobody's ever like, oh my god, I want to play the bassoon.
But no, I went to band camp and I saw like 6 bassoonists, and I was just like, this is such a weird, interesting thing. And everyone was gay, so that's when I started to learn, like, oh, there's more people like me. No, I mean, well, it's a music school, it's a performing arts school, so everyone... So
that makes sense.
Half the men were gay, or half the guys, whatever, were gay. So, and I heard a lot of people who were comfortable with themselves, so I learned how to kind of be comfortable with myself. And my dad went to the Middle East for the first time in 2006 or 2007, and I decided to tell him when he came. And I didn't have a lot of support from my mom, but I had, it was just very normal. And like it was never a big deal. My parents didn't like jump up and down and swing flags and carry signs.
You missed out, I'm telling you.
It was like no big deal, even though they were very Catholic as well. But really, and then I went to a big high school too, where the student body was like a little over 5,000, and yeah, so the graduating class was a little over 1,000, maybe 1,000 to 1,100 every year, because there were 2 high schools. That's why 2 high schools in the district. It was Sachem East and North. But so every ethnicity and race and personality type under the sun was in this building, teachers and staff and students alone. So I was just around enough other queer people, gays, lesbians, trans people too. And so I was able to kind of be okay with myself. And I didn't get a lot of bullying. Anybody who was bullied would have it taken care of because we had a very supportive faculty at the same time. So my childhood was very normal. It's kind of at home. There were many kind of spotted, I'll go ahead and say abusive periods, but those are many stories for different times.
Got it.
Oh, I really can't complain about my childhood.
So, after high school, college, all those things, you went on and you guys both did something with a college degree, right?
Yes, and I still do. I use my college degree. I'm one of the 1% that does.
Where did you go?
I went to the University of North Florida and then finished out here. I have a bachelor's in international business. It's a lot of fun.
Okay.
I love learning how to run businesses and just what to do and how to like make more money, broaden the bottom line. My dad grew up working in finance his whole life. He's the president of a bank right now in New York City. Works remote from Los Angeles. So it's always been like interesting to me like how things work and the stock market and all this and that. So I just really like jumped into that. I do own, not many people know, but I do have 3 businesses of my own and a nonprofit. So I have to be very business savvy to keep that going on a day-to-day basis. It's very stressful.
Mm-hmm.
I was a very senior manager for Michael Kors, the luxury women's retailer, for about 10 years. So it was very, I used my degree right out of the gate, like, doing that. So I still owe about $85,000. So that's going to
Yeah, welcome to student loans.
I applied for the deferment program, and it's been in deferment and waiting to be forgiven for over a year now. And I keep calling every couple months, like, hi, like, I don't want this to go on my credit. What's happening? And the sweet lady there is always like, oh, it's still processing. Got some more applications in front of you, but we'll let you know. And I'm like, okay, got my address, yeah, got right apartment, yeah, we're good, perfect. So hopefully that goes right away. Or you'll just have to work harder. Yeah, no, so I did that, and I'm really excited that I actually get to use my degree. I think it's a lot of fun. Most people would probably think what I do is boring, but it's a whole life outside of porn and all of that. Porn is not my main gig. It's just maybe like a 10th of what I bring in monthly. So very happy. I'm very happy about that.
Clark, what about you?
I went to college a couple times.
Okay.
I spent the 3 years in culinary school. That was after I went to music school. I did 3 years in music school, and it became, after my sophomore year, it became work. And then I just fell out of love with it. It turned into something I didn't want to work on, and I was playing bassoon full time. And it was just something that I always loved to do, that I kind of focused on to stop being sad. So I stopped doing that, took a semester off. Then after that, I went to culinary school, where I learned a lot of knife skills and pastries and baking.
And we had a fabulous dinner tonight, paired with this wonderful red wine that he picked out. Like, oh my god, it was the best. My glasses, I'm still drinking it.
Royal chicken, squash, some mashed potatoes, and then a spellback. And so even though that I was only there for 1 semester, I learned enough to be able to feed my family.
Apparently I need to move closer.
Yeah, me, the cat, and the dog are very well fed.
And then after
Apparently I need to move closer.
fast forward a few years, after some life events, I decided to go back to school for the 3rd time, and I got my associates in health and wellness promotion, so it focused a lot on health disparities in communities and populations. And then I got certified as a trainer last December of 2018.
And what just happened 2 days ago?
I got my job offer here in LA.
Yay!
Planted.
Yay! Yay, yay, yay.
I'm so excited for him. I was so happy when he got that offer because it's really what he wanted to do. So he'll be a personal trainer at a really
Common gym.
Well, not common. It's a very go-getter. One of like the first gyms that like ever started here in Los Angeles. So it's really like it's a really good thing.
And
so.
everybody gives a shit. It's not like
Oh, it was some serious people working out today. It wasn't like Equinox where like, oh, I'll take a selfie in my Chanel bag and my Lululemon and this and that. This is like you go here to work out. And even I worked out a little bit harder because I was like, fuck, like everyone here is real serious.
just the culture that is my new place of work. It's just the people that you're around kind of it makes you want to work a little harder.
Okay.
I was told to behave myself when we went in because it was this new place of employment. I wasn't supposed to embarrass anybody or say anything wrong, but I was on my best behavior.
Oh my God.
No joke. Like, oh, look at this person with a tight ass tank top with a booty short. What they're doing, yeah. It's like, well, no, you can't have triceps and an ass that big unless you do.
You know what? If there's eye candy, you can't help but look. Come on.
Music was loud and nobody heard me. I heard you. So I was talking to you.
You were supposed to hear.
I was having a conversation with myself. They would ask me to leave. And Ange was at work all day.
You could have texted me. You could have texted me and sent me a picture. So okay, so what all these things going on in you know your other areas of your life. What made you to decide to get into porn? I mean, what drew you to it?
I was just trying to prove a point.
A point?
That I could do it after having 10 years off. I did it for about a year for a website. It was exclusive for them. They were Australian based. They got shut down for hiring minors. Shady. Nothing that ever involved me. I was always verified of age, and I never worked with anybody underage. And all of that was cleared. It was quite the scandal. So that happened, and then I was just like, not for me. Go back to using that whole degree that cost me $100,000. And went to work and worked hard and kept moving up and got a promotion every year and just kept working really hard, and then turned 30 right around when Trump was getting elected. No offense to the right-wing people watching, if you are. Decided that people needed help, so I cashed out my 401k, took all the money that I had, and started some businesses. But I was just like, I think I'm gonna do this. It just got like an itch to like, you know, have a Twitter and, you know, talk to some people and just, you know, see who would follow me and whatever. And got a phone call from Shishi LaRue. My first question was, how the hell did you get this number? And she was doing a shoot in LA, and she needed someone to stand in and be a last-minute addition to a movie. And I was like, I'm not doing it because if you do one, you're going to do 100. It's like having a French fry. You can't just have one. You have to have all of them, and it has to be large and supersized, and it goes on. And more salt, fresh, the whole bit. So did the one scene, and here we are talking about all the other ones that I did. But it was really to prove a point to myself that I could do something. I think I needed some validation, just having come out of a tumultuous relationship. Just really wanted to explore what I was able to do and just kind of prove a point and be able to work and play in the big leagues with everybody. And they kind of opened me with wide arms and, you know, started hanging out with some names right away, and just things kind of worked out. And so here we are talking about it.
Okay, Clark, you're up.
So I had tried to get into the porn industry 3 separate times. The first time was on, I used the website version of the app for Adam for Adam, and somebody had approached me and said, oh, I'm a recruiter for free. And so I tried doing it, and I made, in my first month, I made a whopping $50. Which, and I knew that $50 was not good. And they're just like, no, you really have to like really work at it and invest a lot of time. And I really wasn't. I probably put in like 4 hours a week, and I thought that would have been great. So, but it wasn't, and it was just awkward for me, so I just didn't want to continue. I asked to just have them mail me out the check, and it was done. About a year later, again, on Adam Broadway, I had a talent modeling agent, a recruiter or agent. I think he did actually do real talent modeling, but he wanted to get into adult agencies or some whatever. And so it was really kind of a odd situation. So I met him for lunch, and so I was living in New York City. This was 2013, and then I lied to my dad multiple times to go into the city. And I was like 20, 21. I went to New York City, met this guy for lunch, talked to him. We set a date to meet with the photographer for stills to build a portfolio. Didn't get paid for it, but I did get the footage. And then not the footage, the film, the pictures. And then after that, about a couple weeks later, they said come back for, or like a week later, he said come back for an actual scene. But it wasn't filmed; it was only photographed. And again, I was told that we were building a portfolio or a dossier or something like that, and I never got paid for it. I just got photos. So like that was my payment to get like my own photos. So it was really, really sticky, and it just, again, it felt odd. It was filmed in this guy's house, in an apartment on the Upper East Side, wherever. And so, I didn't like it, so I just stopped contacting these people and blocked their phone numbers. So fast forward to December, again last year, same month that I got certified as a trainer. I was just for the past 3, 4, 5-ish so months, I was just spending in the negative $200. I was like, there's got to be a better way. I was working 3 jobs, 3 part-time jobs, and going to school part-time. And I was just like, because it was just like this running joke around the people that I was just surrounded with, that like, oh, I'm just going to call it quits and do porn, or I'm going to be a stripper, because like good strippers and good porn stars do make good money. So I said, fuck it. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I just hopped on one studio. I just started with one. It ended up being Hockey Boys, and I filled out the application and sent the pictures that I thought would be appropriate. Next day, I get a text message from RJ Sebastian, and that turned into a phone call, that turned into a Skype message, and all this time, so they said we would like to pair you with Taylor Rain, and then the travel plans got set up, and the rest is history. But all this time, I'm just like, this doesn't happen. This isn't happening to me, and so it really hit me that like this was a thing that I had gotten myself into after the funds had hit, and because it was a large sum of money from another account that I've never associated with, it got flagged as fraud. So it took a week. So it was like just another week that I was just like, this just isn't real. This isn't happening. Like people don't do this. So here I am, 9 months, 10 months later, 10 scenes, 2 live shows, and a couple appearances later. Yep. So long story short, I needed a check, and I didn't know where the next month, where my life was going to be in January. So I was like, but porn taught me how to really appreciate the body that I have, even without being physically fit. The journey of becoming what people like to look at.
I'm sorry, if Clark Davis isn't physically fit, the rest of us are screwed. So let's just.
He's got a point. He's got a point.
No, I mean, like whether I was or if I was or wasn't, I would still appreciate who I am and what I am. And I learned that through the journey of becoming what people like to look at, and porn is what put it in front of my face. The first 1,000 followers I got in like 6 days, and I was like, this is unreal.
So, how did you guys come up with your porn names?
I never like telling people this.
Mine's okay.
Yeah, why don't you tell your lovely story first?
So I was in a seriously abusive relationship in 2014. When I got out of that, I moved from Long Island back to Western New York, in Buffalo, where I went to school. And I wanted to, eventually, I knew that I wanted to change my name. And I started going to the gym again, because through that period of my life, I had lost a bunch of weight and mass. And so when I went to the gym again, started eating more, people said, oh, you're starting to look like Clark Kent, because I had thick rimmed black glasses and like a swoop in my hair. And people just like, oh, you look like Clark Kent because you're getting more fit. It was dumb, and I had a centerpiece tattoo. So I adopted Clark. He could be my Superman daddy.
It does kind of fit. It does
And
very
so,
much.
Jay Jackson gave me the last name Davis.
Okay.
That's it.
So I'm ashamed to admit this, but there is a personal trainer in Canada named Mark Fitz, F-I-T-T, who I follow on Instagram and adore and love. And he just got engaged to his girlfriend, so if he happens to see this, great for you. But there was somebody else named Nick Fitz, who I always said that if I did porn again, that would be my name, who kind of started something with a big following. And I created a Nick Fit LLC because I was like, well, I want to be Nick Fit. You can't be Nick Fit because I'm Nick Fit. Like, what the hell? Like, can't be two of us. So I allegedly trademarked my name, and he got a cease and desist letter. And then I realized there were a few other personal trainers named Nick Fit with 2 T's that all had to give up their Instagram and stuff like that because I own the rights to my name. So I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't intend on people being served. I guess when you file for a patent or trademark, the
People get offended.
government that doesn't do a lot for anybody just really gets involved with this one and just really did that. And there was some really unhappy people. But you know what? If that was your business and what you were doing, you should have trademarked it. If you wanted it, you should have thought of that. I did because I'm sorry that I'm smart. I'll apologize for being smart, but I wanted something and I went for it and I got it. So
No.
it is what it is. But I don't like to bring harm to people that don't deserve it. But it was really because I just love this personal trainer, Mark Fit, MarkFitt. Cutest, hottest French Canadian guy ever. Like, oh my god! Like, everyone go on Instagram and like look at it. It's just fabulous. He's just so handsome. And I was like, I like him.
And we are not affiliated.
No affiliation, no weird incest between me and him, no icon movie coming out about that. So,
So, what do your friends and family think about you guys' career?
All the friends and acquaintances from Buffalo, West New York, they all know. None of my family knows. They know what I have told them is that I am. What do I say? I'm an editorial model, which is technically not a lie because everything is edited into a final product. So my dad is. Oh my god, I can't remember say this. He said, "You're not doing anything like nasty or disrespectful, are you?" I said, "No, of course not. I would never. That's disgusting."
Well, it isn't nasty and disrespectful. I mean,
very like to the birds because that's very
Well, obviously, I
it's
knew what he
involved
meant.
in your perception. So if he thinks porn's nasty,
that's
and dirty,
exactly.
you don't.
It's subjective, and I don't think it's nasty or dirty, so there you go.
But I know what this Catholic military personnel is implying. So clearly, that was a flat-out lie, and he's not going to see this.
Yes, because the Catholics have got no skeletons in their closet.
None whatsoever. Priest raping kids, totally fine.
No, my dad's very good.
No, I'm not talking about your dad. I'm just talking about in general.
But the church
The
and
religious zealots. In
I
general.
remember Father Porter. Yes.
Nobody walks a straight line.
Nobody does. So it's that whole thing, if you live in a glass house, don't be picking up any stones. So,
Right.
what about you, Nick?
So my parents like to spring things on you at dinners. So I was invited to dinner, just me, my mom, and my dad. My parents are happily married for 19 years this year. They do know what I do. And we were having dinner.
How many years?
They've been married for, 39 years.
I was going to say, you're awfully damn young.
They're happily for 39 years, so there's hope for a lot of people. And that kind of stuff. So, maybe we'll get there one day. But they like to spring things on you at dinner. So I called my sister and was like, going to mom and dad's for dinner. And she was like, yeah, were you the only one invited? Because we're not going. And I was like, what do you mean you're not going? And she was like, you're going to get talked to about something. And I was like, fuck me, what could it be? And I never thought it would be about porn. But we're sitting there and my dad's like, so you're really going to do porn? And I was like,
How they
Like-
find out?
again, the heat, the melting skin, whatever. They found out because, okay, well, I'll tell that story in a second. This is terrible. So, they brought it up and they were like, so you're gonna do porn? I was like, yes. And my dad was, again, the supportive parents that, nothing's ever an issue. We're like, totally fine, do what you want, make sure that it's respectful, you're getting treated the way you want to, you're getting paid the way that you want to, and that you'll still be, my mom's biggest concern was, will you still be hireable for other jobs in the future? To which I reminded her that I am the CEO of 4 companies, and my dad said, oh yeah, that's right, fuck everybody then. So that was that. And they out was my mom decided after my sisters and everybody moved out that she would go get a part-time job. She did work as a nurse, but then she just went and got a part-time job just to have something to do because my dad works a lot and travels. And one of her gay younger co-workers just loves me and follows my real Instagram, not my porn Instagram, my real Instagram where I have like 20,000 followers, and follows my Twitter where there's like 47,000, 48,000 people. And he never made the connection yet, but when he looked at my real last name, like on my real Instagram, he was looking at some of the pictures because I'll post it on both, or the more Christian ones, like I'll post on all 3. And he put 2 and 2 together and got 4. And went up to my mom and she was like, oh my god, I love your son. I know he's porn star Nick Fit. That would be so cool. Like, I would love to meet him. And I was like, my mom was just like, yeah.
What the hell?
And then she thought he was crazy because she was like, my son doesn't do porn. And then, like, and she talked to my dad, and my dad was like, oh yeah, he's been doing porn for a while. Like, so-and-so said so, and, it was on Facebook. So-and-so was talking about it. And I was just like, oh my god. Like, so if you do porn, it will get out there. People will know, but it's a funny story. And I did make my mom's coworker very happy by going to visit her at work one day on purpose, and took some photos. I mean, I'm not Julia Roberts or Lady Gaga by any means, but I guess there is some celebrity element to what we do, and he was very elated to meet me. My mom was cool about the whole thing too. Like, thank God. I really got lucky with like good parents. So that, and it was one of those uncomfortable dinners where you just like wish you were dead.
You were due one, I think. Everything else went so smoothly. I think you were due one. Wouldn't you agree, Clark? Come on. Exactly. Okay. So, what is your favorite part of your careers?
I have a few, but my first is that I got to meet Nick. It's a funny story because I stuck my foot in my mouth in April, and then we got to reconnect, and then that's when it actually hit off in June. After that was the ability that I got to travel a little bit. I got to see Chicago. I was able to relocate to Los Angeles, and I got to see even more of New York City than I've ever seen before. I got to see Canada a little bit.
My favorite part is making new friends. I would not have met a lot of the wonderful people that I met. I would not have met you, maybe, but who knows? But I think that it allowed me the opportunity to have a platform to reach out to people that I may have not known otherwise, to find the love of my life. I really do believe that. I'm so sorry. It's not Taylor Lane this time. Somebody else bothering me.
I am keeping that part of the I don't even know if I kept that one, so.
That's to be added into the bloopers. But everyone will know what we're talking about if you watch this. I think meeting new people, having some really good in the industry, really being able to find out more about myself and like what I care about, what I stand for. Aside from meeting people, I realized that there was still a lot of work that needs to be done with HIV 40 years post the original epidemic and outbreak. So I've been very heavily involved with that. I sit on the FSC PASS as a board member. I do go to the meetings and fight with everybody and fight for undetectable rights. People like Twitter lately, there's been some heated topics going on back and forth about undetectable rights and how people who are undetectable absolutely do have a right in porn. And that people piece, that humanity, that's always been like, whether it was, you know, me working at a luxury retailer or, you know, in the companies and jobs that I have now, it's always been about like the people, and people are what make the difference. Whether you're a fan, you're an ally, you're a coworker, you're a director, you're whoever, like, everybody has an important part to play, and that's always been my favorite thing, is the people part. I'm a Libra, my birthday's coming up, so I'm all about like, what can I do?
And then, fun fact about me is that in high school, I took 2 or 3 months of lessons of flamenco, and then that was my senior year. And then I was also I did yodeling as well.
Which I just found out tonight over dinner.
Yodeling? Really?
Yeah.
Oh my
Because,
god.
like, I'm one of those people who just hum, and so I was just going, and so I just.
On Long Island, New York, they teach yodeling.
I want to know if he does that during sex. So if it ever happens, I want to hear about it.
No, so obviously you can't just like go down the street and go to the music store and be like, hey, I want to like sign up for lessons and learn how to yodel. Like, no, that doesn't happen. I mean, maybe if you're lucky. But so I hopped onto YouTube because I'm a millennial, and I looked up how to yodel. And then I learned like the second place winner of America's Got Talent season 2 was a yodeler. And so I watched all her videos, and then there were some lesson videos, and there's music, like you can actually buy books on how to throw your voice. But anyways, sorry, one of our kids wants to come up. She just woke up. My daughter.
Okay.
This is Suri. Suri, say hi to everybody.
Hi, honey.
Good girl. You gonna lay nice? Yeah. Okay. Just lay nice. Good girl. Good girl. Lay nice. There you go. Good girl.
Uh-huh. Okay, guys. So we're going to transition over and start talking about, you know, the romance that is.
Important things.
The important things, the newer stuff. So I know how some of this all went down, but I want you guys to share with the rest of the world, because you took everybody by surprise. You are now what I consider probably the couple of the year, because you guys totally tied one over on everybody. Nobody knew who was who. Now, they both knew you were like flirty. They knew that you were involved, you know, getting all romantic about somebody, but you guys were really pretty good about keeping this on the down low.
Because we were just like, I just can't stop thinking about him, and we were both like doing that. And I remember that.
And the Cocky Boys followers weren't so much like they're looking for a certain thing, and then the Icon Falcon followers that were following me didn't really kind of like, there weren't a lot of crossover people that put 2 and 2 together. Some people
there were like
started to do it, but like not a lot of people were like, But when it happened, it was like a shit ton of followers of mine followed him, and then a shit ton of people that were like into Cocky Boys and all that followed me. So it was actually kind of nice. So I messaged him one time on Twitter. I sent him a direct message. I followed him and he followed back, and I sent him a direct message, and I was like, you know, you're really cute. I didn't know what to say. I was like, he's hot. My hopefully soon-to-be husband is hot, and he's promising me a birthday that's coming up that I'm never going to forget, so we'll see what happens.
Okay. Is this like an exclusive alert thing going on here?
I don't know. He said that it was going to be unforgettable.
I have 2 or 3 special things.
Okay, no pressure. Clark, I am so not pressuring you into anything. You set you guys' own time on this, really.
My ring size is 9.5. So I messaged him and was like, you're really cute, like, you know, and then he was like, oh my god, thank you. If you ever want to hook up sometime, like, let me know, like, if we're ever in the same area. And I was like, douchebag.
Didn't tell me that. Like, I didn't know.
Didn't tell him, just cut it off, and totally to myself was like, douchebag. Don't have time for this trick. Can't be bothered by a whore. So I was like, went on with my life.
I happen to be neither.
And
didn't I get a text after that? I swear I got one. I think I did. But anyway, go on.
I went on with my life, and decided that I would try again because I was to go to the Grabbies and he was going to be there. And I was like, hey, like, how are you? Blah, 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 this and that. We just started like talking a little bit. Grabbies happened. Really, it was like a message every couple weeks.
And you had tried to give me your number like 2-3 times, and I just hadn't saved it.
Douchebag. Total douchebag. Total bro job douche. Can't bother by people like that. But just like, fuck this guy. Like,
But
I can't.
I remember it was specifically the third time you gave me your phone number. I was like, okay, I'm messaging him now because I'm gonna forget again because he just kept on. Because I don't contact people.
I also don't chase people either, so I don't know what something possessed me to go after this.
Yeah,
so
but
I pursued it, and then we started texting every day, and then that turned into talking every day, and that turned into texting and talking and FaceTiming and talking about each other's days and everything. And I was like, well, you know, why don't you come to LA to visit? You know, after we've been talking for 3 months. Right after World Pride in New York, and I was like, come out for a weekend and just see what you think. No pressure. You can stay here. If you don't like it, I'll get you a hotel. Totally made it like whatever you want to do and whatever your comfort level is, like we'll do. So he was like, okay. So he flew out here, and when I saw him at the airport for the first time, I realized 2 things right away. 1, he's a lot bigger in person than how he photographs, and 2, that this is definitely something that I wanted to pursue and someone that I wanted to be with.
I openly admit that I had fallen in love with the moment I saw you.
He opened. Aww.
I know that. And
I just didn't know how. Like I saw this man who was exactly what I thought he was going to look like. And I remember exactly what you were wearing. You were wearing black sneakers with your no-shows, and
those black shorts.
The jogging short shorts that like you're wearing now, but these ones are newer, and the floral tank top.
Because no one should be able to find me.
And one leg was crossed in front of the other. You were kind of standing more so on one leg. You had your phone. You were looking down at your phone, and you were standing right in front of the exit that I came through. And I was like. And it just so happened that there were a bunch of people over here, and there were a bunch of people over here, and there was like a straight shoot, standing like right in front of like a light that was like right above you. It's not like as if it was like a halo or some shit. And it was literally as if like I'm destined to just go straight to you. And this was like in like a 2.5 second thought that I had. I was like, it's legitimately like
and
it's
we
meant
just
to be.
held on to each other at LAX for the longest time. For maybe what felt like forever, but it was a couple minutes definitely, and we both had tears in our eyes, and we were just really happy to meet.
Our first.
The reason I was standing like that is because I kept asking me for weeks, like, what are you gonna do when you first see me or when you look into my eyes? I was like, I don't know, like what that, like I don't know, like so. Eventually, my response was, I am going to look down at the ground, and I'll take notice of you peripherally. And then when you come up to me, the first time that you see my eyes is when you're right in front of me and I look up and look directly into your eyes. And that's what happened. So it was this really romantic thing at Baggage Claim 2 in Los Angeles.
That's your spot.
You know, with the family, it's our spot. You go all the time. No, I'm just kidding. Can't go there. Get chased up by security. But
you might have to find a new one.
We have to buy tickets and hang out. I come from a family where like you don't let people take Uber and stuff like that. If people come visit you, you go get them. You pick them up at the airport. It's what you do. Like I was raised that way, so I was like, I'm not gonna make them take an Uber here. First of all, it would have been like $1 million to get from LAX to where I live
that would have
in
scared
Hollywood.
me too.
And then you would have had all this time to
It would have
think.
been
And
scarier than the time that I rode a 12-hour train from Buffalo to New York City.
so, yeah, that happened. Then we were in the car, and he couldn't wait to kiss me. And then we spent the whole weekend together. And that second night, I knew for sure that I was in love with him. Not just loved him, but I was in love with him and wanted to be with him. And this was the man for me. This is my guy. And we decided that we didn't want to be apart from each other. So he went back to New York.
3 weeks.
For 3 weeks.
Yes, we know. We counted down with you too. There was a online countdown going on with several of your fans who kept track daily. How's the countdown? 3 weeks?
Queer Porn, Queer Me Now, Queer Pig, Queer Fever, Queer Click, and Falcon, one of their magazines, actually was super nice to do all these wonderful write-up stories that really got to everybody and made a bunch of impressions. I think the story on us now has over 25 million impressions to this day, 2 months later.
Now you know why I said you guys are the couple of 2019.
I was walking like either to the gym or to the grocery store. I was on the phone with you specifically, and you're just like, it'll be fine. You're just, this is just the in between.
It was just it was that waiting. But when he finally came back and I saw him again, kind of in that same position, except he came around a corner this time. He just dropped all of his bags and held on to me, and he was like, "Baby, I'm home. Like I'm home, and I'm never gonna leave you again." And it was all this crying, and oh my god, I'm like tearing up. Now there's all this again, LAX moments.
LAX probably has seen.
I think people should talk on the phone and meet at LAX. It'll work out for you. You'll fall in love. They should actually do that last episode of The Bachelor there at LAX.
They might have a better turnout.
Oh, Bravo or VH1. This is
It's possible.
Yeah, get me Katie Couric.
But, I can understand why that 3 weeks would be a little hard to deal with because, you want to just get into your new life. And that's totally understandable. So
it just so happened that his lease was ending and everything as he needed to move here, and he was going to move someplace anyways. And I was like, babe, just come. No expectations. I'll add you to the lease. That way you have legal ground to stand on. I'll do whatever you want me to do.
It was almost seamless.
I'll help you out. I'll add you to credit cards, bank cards, whatever I need to do to show that I'm in this to win this. I really wanted him to be comfortable. So he took a leap of faith and moved here. There was no way in hell I was moving to Buffalo. So he came here. Right?
They do have seasons. But
they have seasons, and I'm sure people in Canada are very lovely. We can go there all the time.
It's depending on the time of year, you may get 100, you may get -2.
Oh.
So, but
negative 100, never -2.
-2 degrees?
Yes.
No. I'm barely managing now at 50. I already got sweaters out. I'm like, no.
It was 78 today in LA, and I was like, oh, it's a little bit cooler than it's been before. So as soon as we have this thing in LA, as soon as it hits 66 degrees, everyone's with the fur and the boots and the ponchos and you'll see, it'll be the most ridiculous thing ever. You'll be wearing shorts while it's 40 degrees because you're that guy, but
it'll take him a couple of years to acclimate.
Give it then he'll be the same person. But give it 3 more weeks, and it's going to be a whole fashion show. And I don't know why this is, but we need to start with the PSA here. When the seasons change, whether it's hot to cold or cold to hot, having worked in fashion, please God, do not pull the ugliest things that you own out of your closet and put them on and wear them the first day of the season change. Think about what you're doing.
I want to go
because there are some outfits the first couple days when the weather changes and all of it.
Why is it just because of the transition? They don't know what to wear.
Everyone just picks out the ugliest thing they could possibly wear and matches it together, and it doesn't go, and it's terrible, and it's stuff you should have donated from last year. And give it 3 or 4 days though, and then everyone gets the group again. But it's that first day that it gets really hot as hell. The lack of clothes that some people have or what people wear is just, oh my God. And as soon as it gets cold here, it's again, oh my God. And you'll see it. It'll be November 12th. And it'll be oh God, what is happening?
Oh, good to know. I'll keep that in mind. I haven't pulled out my winter clothes yet, but I always go through them first.
I have faith that you make good fashion choices.
I have my moments. You can sometimes you can tell my mood when I go shopping by what ends up in my closet. Some of it's where was my head, So I do have a few things in my closet that still have tags on it because I'm what was I thinking? Anyway, so tell me, what has been the biggest challenge so far with you guys in the industry and developing relationship and setting your boundaries? Obviously, you guys have chatted about, you know, what you guys are okay with, what you're not okay with, because this is kind of a dynamic that most people wouldn't think they'd have to, you know, involve in their relationship. Yes, we all know it's your job. It is a job, but some people don't actually can't separate that. So it sometimes creeps into their relationships. But what about you guys? What have you discussed? I mean, how are you coping with knowing that you're both still actively in the business, you know?
Well, for both of us, we both approach our job as a job. Our scene is just work. Granted, yes, you do want to you do want to create decent content and not just have two random people not connected, have a fake medically induced boner and just kind of go at it but we do kind of have people that we would prefer that the other one doesn't film with.
We have talked about people that we prefer the other one not to work with, and I think that's totally fair.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay. We do have a closed relationship. We do not have sex with anybody outside of our relationship aside from Studio Porn. There's no OnlyFans. There's no Just for Fans. For my fans, all my fans. Where's the fans? I need my own fan site. Whatever.
Clap
the hell.
fans.
Clap Destroyer fans. And it's actually good advice that I got from Rebecca Moore. Rebecca Moore, one of the cock destroyers, more MILF. She's nice enough to talk to me almost daily.
Follow her.
She actually gave me some really good relationship advice about that, and she was like, "You get to decide what you want to do, and really, to everybody else." And insert cute English phrase here and there, and so it was actually really good. And talking to you and getting some relationship advice, but we ultimately decided that it's not for us.
Mm-hmm.
The offers do come in, and it's nice that people think of us, but we always politely decline.
Yeah.
Because we want to keep it about us. But it is hard to date somebody in the industry, whether it's just a job or not. I think it's a little bit more difficult for me than it is Clark.
Yeah.
But
because I can emotionally detach things. He said he's a Libra, I'm a Taurus, and I'm very grounded in how I view the world just in general. I know what it is. I know what he's doing. And going off to the, would I choose to be there and watch and be like, this is really great, guys? Just but no, it's not my.
Take some behind the scenes photos.
It's not my cup of tea to just be there and watch. One of our struggles is when we're just scrolling through Twitter and these things pop up.
You don't really want to see that because you have an image of who your boyfriend is in your head, and you see them in this different light or this different thing.
You start thinking.
Not so much questioning. You kind of feel different about yourself, and it kind of takes away what's special. And while that might not be true for a lot of people, and I'm okay with people that have open relationships. I think people can be polyamorous. I'm for all of that, but I think what works best for us is that we keep it to a minimum, do what we have to do, get in and get out literally,
Mm-hmm.
and come back home to the other person. We always make it a point every night to not be mad, to talk things out, to always go to bed happy. Tomorrow's not guaranteed, so
we don't go to bed angry with each other.
We talk about everything, no letting this boil up. Let's talk about it now. We're both from New York, so obviously we want to get it out.
New York. New Jersey.
So that's kind of
coffee.
Our take on it. It is difficult, but it's worth it. He makes everything, honest to God, he really is the best person. This is not just showmanship. I'm so blessed that he came into my life. I'm so lucky he came at a time where I just thought I'd be single forever and that I just, had given up on dating in the industry. And I am so happy that he
No pressure, Clark. None. No pressure.
he just came into my life at a time that I really needed him. And I'm so lucky that I got this man here that's in my life. And I love you, babe. I really do. I think that you're the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a blessing. It's not even a blessing and a curse. It's just a blessing. It's just really, really nice to be able to. And because again, I do think of the other possibilities that could have happened. where this could have blown up tragically in our faces, and it didn't, and it isn't, and it won't, because this was just. And I jump into things in my life. I moved really quickly in with my first major boyfriend.
Well, define really quickly too. That's subject to
Within
what
the
people
first
think.
month.
Some people think that if you call them on the phone that you're a crazy stalker and oh my god, how would you call me and all this emo bullshit. But
What
I was
is
like,
Grindr?
let's take
How
a
dare
leap
you.
of faith. I was like, what's the worst that could happen? And I made it comfortable.
But
for
if
him.
you
I said,
don't, if you don't take risks, you don't.
you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
Exactly.
So at least that and swung, and it happened to be a home run. And I get that's not indicative of many people's stories, but it happened this time, and I had faith in it, and we kept it alive through phone, through text, every way possible. When he was gone for 3 weeks, I slept here on the couch. I wouldn't even sleep in the bed without him. So I brought the phone cords and all the stuff out that I needed, and just kind of like turned the living room into my bedroom, and pillows and blankets, and I just waited for 3 weeks. And actually, the couch is firmer than the mattress, so it's actually like I like it better. But you know, whatever. But yeah, I didn't want to be there without him. That's how that's how in love we are. This isn't like something that we take very lightly. It's very, very serious, our relationship.
Not even just.
But life is for living and learning, and if you don't take risks, then I'd rather look back and say I can't believe I did that than to say why didn't I try. So.
Hey, when we're those proud parents holding up signs and stuff like that, you know, chasing our kids around, and
Exactly.
we could tell them.
Exactly.
The new thing that's been going on is I've been told one day you're going to have a little son who's going to just tug at your shirt and go, Papa, Papa. Just
You
like
will.
ask for
It'll happen. Your day will come. Just enjoy being the two of you for a while, because that's pretty cool too. The rest will come in time.
I might be 6.5 years older than him, allegedly, so.
Well, it's not like you're the one that's got the, clock.
Oh, please. Somebody has to be the child's mother, and it might as well be me. Two good dad moms.
You guys will be fine. You've got plenty of time. You really do. So, I know you guys have, you actually filmed a scene together. It hasn't come out yet, but there have been, leaks all over Twitter. And,
speaking on.
Well, I was told through anonymous sources at Mile High Media that they were leaving some of their better scenes in movies to be released to the end of the year. That's what most people do.
mhm.
Hollywood does that too. Right after Christmas, you get all the Titanic and all that shit, all the fabulous movies, Downton Abbey, all the fabulous comes out at the end of the year. So that will be coming out in a couple months. It is in the editing room floor now. Jake Jackson and RJ Sebastian were absolutely amazing at Cocky Boys for
Yes,
allowing
thank
one
you,
of their
guys.
exclusives to film and to work with Shisha LaRue. We did shoot for Icon Now.
Okay.
So we played. It was a feature film.
Yeah.
I was one of the starring roles. I was written into that, and he was one of the co-star roles. And I play Casey Everett's boyfriend, who is cheating on him with Clark
With me.
Davis, who sees me at
Just like peeking
the
in.
movie's called Dad's Poker's Night, and I'm peeking in the window at this poker night, and he sees me and comes outside and catches me, and there's dialogue, and to
I
keep
tell
me
you.
quiet, I have to meet him in the back bedroom, and there's this whole thing and infatuation that he has with me, and I'm there, and so all that happens, and then Casey finds it's actually a really well written story.
It sounds great. Sounds great.
It actually has a really cool story to it. It was a lot of fun to shoot too. I love working on Icon Male movies, especially when they do some of the more intricate ones and stuff like that. I was fortunate to write for them and star in a movie that I wrote for them that did really well also. So we were happy that they Cocky Boys came through and made this happen. It was really special and magical, and really worked
So
out.
tell me, how was it to actually put your physical relationship on camera? I mean, I'm assuming, now don't get, that you held something back. I mean, there's stuff that's just your thing. But how was it filming on having your private?
We talk pretty dirty to each other, and if any videos that we privately made, we don't post every picture and video that we take on Twitter, including nude photos. We believe that some of that has to be reserved just for us.
Because we do just like.
But if there were some videos of some things that we were saying that were released to Twitter, you would be like, oh my god, these two filthy, dirty, nasty, horrible people.
Oh my God, Becky!
Exactly. So we make things like, everyone gets off to something else. So filming with him was, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, babe, but like
it was organic.
It was organic, obviously. But it was
Al-
also very natural. It wasn't like anybody else was in the room. It was like nobody else was there. I mean, yeah, we had to keep in mind, like, stay open to the camera. Like, you can only get so many angles. Like, there's rules you have to follow. But it really worked out that, we were able to work together, and that it felt very natural, and it was like no pressure, no issues, no.
I thought that it was a great.
Clark couldn't get his dialogue down. He had a lot of dialogue. That was the problem. The sex was fine. But when it came to the dialogue shooting afterwards, and come 2 a.m. when we're still shooting, and I'm like eyes crossed outside because he kept saying the wrong line or kept trying to rush through it.
They were literally just like, just get ballpark. And I was like, no, I can't get ballpark. I have to actually get it the way that it's supposed to be because I'm supposed to be like a guest. But
he got it. Not ballpark. He got it verbatim.
Eventually, I did get it. And
19 takes later.
Because part of it, yes, it did. The dialogue part became weird because I wasn't talking to like my real life boyfriend. I was talking to Nick.
You're talking to Nick about Casey and
who is supposed to be someone else's boyfriend. So
it was my boyfriend.
My boyfriend was cheating on his boyfriend with his boyfriend. so and we couldn't get that.
Peyton Place.
There's cheating and family members. You have a great icon feature.
But it was a great learning experience because these professional camera people and lighting people who are all heterosexual, some married men, are experts on gay porn, and they really are. They were just like, we just need you to do this way, and it's like really, and I'm just like, that is fascinating, like.
Because it was the 2 of us, they were like, pick the positions, pick what needs to happen. There was just general guidelines of what we'd like to catch. All scenes have that, I believe. They want general guidelines of, this is what we would like to all come together. However you do that organically, great.
And for the viewers, over at Cocky Boys, it's just RJ and who's ever in the scene. So he sets up the lighting we get a lot, it's mostly natural lighting.
But Shishi and Falcon, it's a whole production. You have a director, the personal assistant, you have a lighting person, you have 2 to 3 camera people, you have assistants, the director, there's somebody getting food, there's all kinds of stuff. Like, it's just short of a Hollywood production. There's a lot going on. So
lunch is ordered.
You have to kind of like block all that out because there's, if you look, and I've worked with these people for so long, they're like friends. So like if I was to look over and break scene, like I have like 6 people watching me, including Shisha, the room taking behind the scenes photos, which is like, no offense to everyone that I work with, but like it's sexy when I'm with him. It's not sexy when I'm with a room full of people. So you have to like kind of keep that in mind. So.
And then lunch is ordered.
Oh, then they're asking you what you want for lunch. There's this, the still photographers different than the videographers. So it's about like 7 people there that are making this happen. But it's really cool the way that it all comes together and how everybody plays like this really cool role, right?
Yeah.
So Clark, this was pretty much your first big production then, right?
Yeah. Like the process and how like we need to do how we do it. And the angles that they need are all the same, and the lighting positions are all the same, and like the stills and then the actual video are all the same. And there is no dialogue. There's a little bit of dialogue, but like nothing. Like there was no script. When I was given a script, I was like, oh, all right.
Well, there's certain things in the script you have to say if you're watching a feature film to lay out for the audience what is happening, or it just doesn't make sense and it's just like a bunch of fucking and it's like what's really like. So,
which is fine for some studios. That's like what they do, but
Cocky Boys did that fabulous movie All Saints. I'm sure that was scripted and written out and everything, and they won a lot of.
Oh yeah, yeah. But Clark wasn't in All Saints, so he wouldn't have been at least not yet, unless there's something going on. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I thought. You couldn't share with me anyway.
Yeah, Mr. Pam is watching this. We would love to be in a Naked Sword original and starring roles. That would be amazing in one of your high budget films.
We'll have to work on her. So, is the glass, we're going to switch to some random questions because it's time. Is the glass half full or half empty?
Half full.
I have wine in my glass.
You have wine
It's
in
half
your
full.
glass. It's half full?
Yeah.
That's great.
No, really, I do view situations as better than worse.
Okay.
Look, it can always be worse.
It can always be worse, but it can always be better. So yeah, I do like to see half full.
Okay. So, what is the most interesting skill you have that maybe people don't know about you?
I mean, I told you that I grew up a classical musician,
Yes.
and singer, and I can't really yodel as I used to, but I went on to America's Got Talent and almost got on stage.
There you go. There's something right there. Hello.
I lied to my dad 2 years in a row to go into the city to yodel.
You should email this video to him. I don't know. I was a Boy Scout. I went all the way to Eagle Scout. I took American Taekwondo for 12 years and got a second degree black belt in that. And I want to go back to practicing.
I didn't know that.
I used to teach kickboxing. I also am a certified personal trainer that has not kept up with it.
You
So
just need to
I
listen.
naturally need to ask him a few questions, and see what the cool kids do for cigarettes nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have a very odd relationship with President Clinton. I sent him a letter saying that I was becoming an Eagle Scout, and instead of getting the generic White House, thank you so much, blah, 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 letter back, she got a handwritten letter back from the president that was signed, and then I ended up subsequently bumping into him 3 times right after that. So it was actually very interesting that it happened. Twice when he was president and once after the 2000 election. So that was really cool.
Nice. So, if you could personally witness an event in history, what would you like to have attended?
I would like to be in the crowd at the I Have a Dream speech, and I would have also loved to see Rosa Parks on the bus, because I took an African American history class when I was doing health and wellness promotion, because I just needed to fill an American history class. And it was very inspiring for me as a Caucasian individual. Yes, I am half Puerto Rican, but I identify as mixed race. But I have a lot of white privilege. But it was very inspiring, and I do feel that us as white or white-passing people can learn a lot in human experience from just people of color in general. Not just black, but fully Hispanic people, Middle Eastern, Indians.
What makes us different actually is what brings us together, and we all have a lot more in common than what separates and divides us. So.
And but going off of Dr. King, there's a lot of videos out there where you can see him just walking the streets with his entourage, other bodyguards, and just a muffler may give, what's that called?
Backfire?
Or may backfire, and he just goes, because he was under fire so many times. Eventually, someone got him. Sadly.
I would say, God, if I had to, I want to pick 2. I definitely think the Rosa Parks one also. I would have loved to see her not give up her seat on the bus and really have been there to support her or done that. I also think spending time with Bobby Kennedy on his campaign trail when he was really reaching out, he was going to change the world. The momentum for him and what was going to happen, and the sitting down with Cesar Chavez and the going to mass with him, and just spending time, I think, with him and his wife on the campaign trail, not during the assassination, but just seeing him changing lives and people believing him and the world on a pivot of change and the hope that he was bringing to people. I think the closest you would ever get to that would be perhaps modern day Barack Obama, but that probably doesn't even, I wasn't there, it probably doesn't even come close to the message he was giving out. I think it would have been really cool to have spent time with him and get to know him a little bit prior to, his unfortunate assassination as well.
What movie?
1968, right after Martin Luther King Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Something.
So-
68, that was the one.
He was going to win the convention. He would have won the presidency.
Yes, he would have.
The world would have been a different place today.
So what makes you guys smile?
Our relationship.
And I want to keep saying each other. He
He
tries to make me smile, and it's like corny, and he'll say things that are just like, oh my god. Anytime he says something stupid, I go like this. And I rub my hand over his face. But it's those things that make me smile. Being asked this question actually makes me smile. Helping people makes me smile. Knowing that I was able to do something for somebody through one of my companies or just personally. Just knowing that somebody else is all right.
Yeah.
It makes me happy, and that makes me smile. I don't smile a lot in photos, but if you get to spend time with me in person,
It's
I'm all
a
laughs
nice-
and giggles.
It's a nice. So when you pose a smile,
It's hard.
it's clearly a fake smile. But when you find joy, you specifically, when you find joy in things, or when I make you smile, your smile is the most infectious. And I can't find more joy in anything else than seeing you enjoy whatever it is, whether it's me, whether it's I say something silly and you giggle, or if I'm being an asshole and you giggle. I make a lot of our meals, our protein shakes, which is a project in its own. So I put everything in the kitchen sink. And
If we could circle back to what's bad about being in a relationship, it would be dating a personal trainer, because I'm eating fucking rice cakes and brown rice and quinoa and
No.
getting dirty looks when I pick out chips.
Yes,
and
but
things
you'll be
on the
living
floor.
longer.
I asked yesterday night if we could have a second piece of the banana bread that I bought from Trader Joe's, and he was like, okay, if it's a small piece. And I was like, let's just finish the goddamn thing. It's 4 servings anyways. We could each have 2. We went to the gym and worked out. Like, everything's good. So, you know, everyone's BMI is the same. So it's not the end of the world. But if we could go back to that. That's the worst part. Really wanting to like go get donuts right now at California Donut that's open 24 hours a day. If you're in LA, go there. Would be amazing. But
You know, an occasional food vacation is actually healthy for you.
he's been allowing me to have a lot of those, so now
And
I
I-
have to cut back.
No.
We had
Okay.
ice cream.
We're very regimented. I don't really remember when we had. Oh, we did have ice cream a few days ago. But no, for the most part, we're very regimented, and I don't like having a cheat day or a cheat meal. We're allowed to indulge. You're allowed to have chips every now and then, a serving of ice cream, a piece of banana nut bread. But
us having
that's all.
We
you
had the
eat.
chips after the banana nut bread, and we finished the whole bag of chips and went to bed.
He woke up. He was like,
And I was like, "This is your fault." He was like, "You're the one that ate it." And I was like, "You're a traitor. What's wrong with you?"
But if I stopped him, then I'm the terrible jerk.
You're taking food away. Yeah, you can't.
Well, you aren't the you
No.
don't want to be in the position of being food police. Trust me, it is not a good role. It is not fun at all. Not.
No.
But yes, our silly relationship things like this make me smile.
Okay. So what makes you sad?
I don't mean to be that guy right now, but honestly, the state of our government and politics really does make me sad. There's a lot of division, and there's a lot of fighting and over people, and I feel like less and less is getting done, and less progress as humans is getting done. But
Yeah, I think all the races went back to their own communities instead of it being one America. Now it's like 10 different ones based on to what category you classify yourself in. The war on Latinos and Latino kids sitting in cages breaks my heart. The attack on trans people, having been in a relationship with someone that's trans, that to me is just totally unacceptable. And the rate that trans people are still being killed to this day is just horrible. It makes me sad. Also, to be cliche and corny, we've been watching Pose, and a lot of people are dying of HIV and stuff like that. And we've talked to each other and said, you know, like, well, what happens when I die? And it's immediate, like, tears, or if he asks what I would do, it's just we can't talk about it. Like, I can't fathom not being with Clark for the rest of my life. And so to think of that just makes me so sad. even though it's just a hypothetical.
We have two different levels of our. We're both very, 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 very healthy men, but we do have different levels of our status. And whenever I watch anything AIDS, I just break down, and I immediately just picture what it would be like to hold my future husband's hand in the hospital. I don't want to think about that, but what doesn't break us makes us stronger. Going back to all the fucking stupid ass cliches. But
then you take yourself out of that sad moment when the episode's over, and you're like, okay, it's just a flash thought that I had. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
We're very healthy people. We go to the doctor and we find out that all of our numbers are really great and normal. That's yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you guys were to write an autobiography about your life, what would you call it?
That's a good, fun question, because I have for many years I've thought about the possibility and propensity of writing an autobiography. And at the old job when I was living in Buffalo, at the vitamin store, me and my coworker were just like, we're very open about like our life experiences, and me having gone through so much abuse as a child and as an adult. What I've learned is that through the different phases of my life, I have somehow my laughter has changed. And if you go back into the videos that I have posted in January, February, and if you listen to how I giggle now, it's different. And I would love to write an autobiography about overcoming abuse, and I would call it Seasons of Laughter, because the different phases are very much like seasons.
So I thought about this, and Josh Sparrow, we know, I did the national ad campaign for his book Porn
Yes.
Again, which he calls porn again, but it's really not about porn. It's about him and his life. So I really thought about this, and I would call my autobiography AIDS, an individual dedicated to survival. And I would really take my whole life and my life experience and how I have dedicated my life to helping others survive and overcome what's going on with them. And I would use that. I think it's a very catchy title that makes you want to read it. I mean, if you went into the bookstore and you saw a white book with just black AIDS written across it, wouldn't you pick it up?
Of course.
So I think that I would do that. It would be, instead of acquired immune deficiency syndrome, it would be an individual dedicated to survival.
Oh,
Nice. That's great.
that's cute.
So, what do you want to be remembered for?
Well, when I go, I hope people say nice things. I hope the people that still like me are here so they can say nice things about me. I want to be remembered for not only the person that was able to give you the best life that you possibly could have, but I want to be remembered for all of the philanthropic work that I do, the standing up for the underdog, the standing up for undetectable performers when people want to cast them out or just look at them as about to get cat attacked, standing up for undetectable performers in the industry. Going up against studios, not being afraid to have a voice or an opinion. I really want to be remembered as somebody who just cared, who just wanted it to be better and wanted it to be different for everybody else, and for people not have to have the same struggles that I did or the same problems or face the same adversity. Like I want it to be different. I want to honestly leave the world a better place than what I inherited and what I walked into.
Same.
Same.
Yeah, me too.
That was quick and easy.
No, really, same.
It's like that Golden Girls episode.
It's okay. It fits. It's all right. You can say that.
But no, same because, but it through a different. So I don't necessarily work with HIV people, HIV positive people, or anything. Sorry. I don't work with that type of community. I work with a lot of, as a trainer, my biggest experience were people who have undergone some sort of weight loss related surgery, or orthopedic or osteoporotic surgery of some sort, like something ligaments or something spine. And so I work with a lot of people who have pain, and I would like to be remembered as somebody who has helped people with their physical pains and ailments and complications and injuries and things like that, and the limitations. I've always been very invested in helping people with their health. And it all boils down to antioxidants. So whenever I'm able to take on a new client or even a new friend who asks me about something, I'm just like, between the times that you go to wake up and the time that you go to sleep, what is it that you're putting in your body? Are you getting enough antioxidants? And are you getting enough calories and the right amount of the right kinds of foods for you and your blood type? I want to be remembered for somebody who gave more of a damn about other people than myself. But not to where I'm so self-sacrificing where I'm just gonna give up on me. Not like that.
I get it.
You get it.
So, actually, before we get to that, what would you like to share and say to your fans that have been following you guys and the new ones that you've acquired and all the hoopla that's been coming down over the last year?
I would like to say thank you.
Thank you.
Without fans, there would not be me. There are 47,000 people that push me and challenge me every day to be a better person, to make the right decision, to stand up for other people, post a naked photo. But really, without the fans, that's where it all stems from, and that's the most important aspect of the adult entertainment industry, is the people that come back for whatever reason, whether it's to get off, watch a story, follow somebody, learn something, look at something, but whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
The porn that we do is more so where people want to, follow along and see what's going on. Without the fans, there would be no money going to the websites for casting, for productions, for movies, for wardrobe, for hair, for makeup, for lighting, and multiple camera people. There wouldn't be money to pay us. There wouldn't be money to do anything. And I think the fans that are really dedicated, that spend time and they make an investment in something for whatever reason, are the people that keep it going. And I think they're the most important part of all of this. It's not me. It's not any name. It's not anybody that you can see on TV. It's not any casting director. It's not any CEO. It's not anybody. The fans are the most important people. So from the bottom of my heart, the 47,000 of you that find me interesting, more so than I do myself, thank you for making this possible and for keeping it going and for allowing it to continue and for what it will do over the next couple of years.
Same. But the reason why I say same 2 times in a row is because it's true. Because I said thank you for something, but I said thank you initially.
It's the fans that brought us together too. If there wasn't, if people didn't care about me,
we wouldn't be doing what we do.
Right. If people didn't like what I did and I got negative, horrible feedback, like delete, wrong, exit, by, got done, call it abort mission,
rebooked.
It wouldn't have happened. And had it not been happening and had not enough people been, I didn't know him from looking at Coffee Boys or any of the porn models that retweeted his stuff. It was a fan that retweeted it. Yeah. And I saw him for the first time and I was like, wow, he's really hot, he's cute, he's whatever. And I just kept seeing more from the blogs and the fans read the blogs that perpetuate that. So we really, as performers and artists, have a lot to give back to the fans, and doing something small to change someone's life, or to make their day, or to do any of that. I feel like we owe that to people. It's not about who you are. It's about who makes you who you are. And it's just so important that people understand that. And I think that that's what keeps us grounded and keeps us going, is because I understand that. I understand that without people, without you caring enough as a fan and ally to do the show, nobody else would see it or care. Like, the story wouldn't get out there. So thank you for allowing that to happen.
Myself standing alone. If it weren't for the abuse that I received from my mom, I wouldn't have made the mistakes that I made as a young adult. I wouldn't have ended in a bad relationship that made me have to fix a whole bunch, and I wouldn't have ended in the financial situation that I was in 2018. And I wouldn't have signed up, for lack of a better word, with Cocky Boys. And if it weren't for RJ and Jake, then I wouldn't have had the amount of promoters that promoted all the content. And I wouldn't have developed the Twitter fan base that I had. So I can't, it boils down to the selfishness of my mom. That is why I have become the good person that I am today. That is why I have developed my good sense of self. And that is why I met.
You're very strong. You are a very strong man. Without bringing your mom into this equation, you got yourself where you are today. So don't forget that, ever.
And I don't mean to bring up a somber subject, but that is the fact of the matter. Some of us just have shitty dealings, and
right.
I choose mine and turn to the best possible situation.
Or it's like Texas Hold'em, keep raising the pot and make other people fold while you take your shitty hand and continue to win the game.
You pulled yourself up and moved on and said, this is not where I want to be, and that's amazing.
After hearing his story, I'm so proud of you as a man, as a human, as my boyfriend. Like, I really am. You give me that. You make me want to be a better person.
So, where? Aww. Okay. You guys gonna suck face now or what?
Possibly. I'm
Possibly.
50-50.
Okay. Well, before we get to that, where would new and potential fans or fans that are new to you find your guys' material?
You can find Clark Davis on howtocatchapredator.com/
Okay. I didn't realize there was a website for this.
I have never, for the record, I have never touched a.
It was a joke. No one takes it seriously.
Good.
It was a Chris Hansen joke.
Okay, so where would we find you guys?
You can either find all of my content on hockeyboys.com,
Okay.
where you may have to sign up for a membership or trial. But you can also find me on Twitter at Clark Davis CB, or Instagram CGISSACPT, which is just a big acronym.
Okay.
You can find me on the multiple websites that I work for. You can check out the Nick Fit Dildo at savagepresence.com. You can find me on Twitter at Nick Fit with 2 T's, triple X, NICKFITTXX. And add me and I'll fall back.
What is the promotion code for the dildo?
For the Nick Fit Dildo, should you want one of those, you can use code Avery Jones, my favorite little brother slut porn star, who loves it, or you can use the code Cock Destroyer because Rebecca Moore was nice enough to promote it, so you can find it there also.
Mm-hmm.
Or just go to my Twitter, it's all
Did
there.
you not make one for Wreck-It Ralph?
Hi, my name's Ralph. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, Alexa, get me Ellen DeGeneres.
I think you should make one for Wreck-It Ralph. I mean, how many people break one? Anyway.
No! You can ask
Oh.
XX about that.
Sarah broke the dildo in the shower and sent a picture of it. Just snapped in half somehow.
Well, stuff happens. Well, thank you guys very much for sitting down with us and sharing your life, about yourselves, and giving us a look into how this all came about.
Well, thank you. Thank you for doing this and putting up with our antics over the past 2 hours and all that good stuff. It's really, you've been a wonderful friend and ally in person, and we're really happy to do this. And, we really support your show and want it to take off. So we'll definitely be promoting the hell out of it. And then
The hell.
the straight hell out of it. The hell right out of it. And thank you just so much for like all that you do and will continue to do.
It's my pleasure. Trust me.
We would not be where we are, this community, without the allies.
It's true.
I just need to book my reservation at Hotel Ange. That's sometimes with the inside joke. There you go.
There we go.
I love that. She sang karaoke.
I do, but that's another subject for another time.
That's for part 2.
That's part 2. Yes. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you for watching the show. Remember, smile and laugh every day. Hug someone that you love, be it 2 or 4-legged. Remember, you are special. Thanks again for watching the show. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.